Before I hop into it, disclaimer, depression is real. I'm not here to offend anyone. I'm just trying to speak my mind, and I hope you guys take something from it. So 50% of your depression, please take that with a grain of salt. If you have 10 things that you're depressed about, I'm not trying to eliminate 5 of them, but you guys get the point. So firstly, I want you guys to think about what are the things in your life that you may be sad about or things that are making you feel depressed. As some guidance, I'll give you some of the things in my life that have caused those emotions. My job, right? The work that I do day to day, how much money I make, friends and relationships, imposter syndrome, thinking that I'm not good enough. Personally, the list goes on and on. But just as guidance for you guys to think about it. So once you have that list, my goal is to erase at least half of it. No, just kidding. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about is human psychology and how our brains work and how our brains are wired. What are the main reasons why people may be depressed or stressed or sad? Really is because of things we make up in our own head. I was listening to a podcast. It's Econ Talk, if you guys haven't checked it out. But the best way to explain what was happening on that podcast, there's a psychologist as a guest speaker, is through an example. So let's say I'm at a crossroad in life where I have the decision between 2 jobs, right? I have job A and job B. I don't know which one I should go with, right? Job A, I have to, let's say, move to the city, move to the middle of Manhattan. I get paid whatever salary, but the job is in person. And then job B is either a full remote job or a hybrid job. Either way, I can stay home where I live currently. I don't have to move into the city and pay city rent. At the end of the day, we can only make one decision. As much as we want to choose both jobs, we're human. We can only make one choice. We can only take one. And let's say I go with job B, right? I stay at home, close to friends and family. I save money on rent. I have a good job, yada, yada, yada. And let's say 3 months in, everything is going well. But then once I reach maybe the half-year mark, things aren't quite as what I expected it to be. My managers are a little toxic. I don't like the work that I'm doing. And in my head, I'm just constantly thinking about if I had chosen job A, I would be in a much better spot than I am in right now. Because, I took up job B. I live close to friends and family. I don't have to commute, but I hate my job. I hate what I'm doing. It causes me stress every single day. I'm up till 9, 10, 11 p.m. working 60, 70-hour weeks. I'm losing hair. I just don't know what I'm doing. And all that I can think about and all that I can focus on is if I had chosen job A, none of this would have happened. I would have been in the city, the city of bright lights, meeting new people, right? New York is a city of endless opportunities. I'd, live on my own. Sure, I'm paying rent, but I'd be on my own, away from family. I could use that space. I can, meet new friends. You know what? I should have taken job A. And because of that, I am depressed. Every single day that I hop onto work on my laptop, job B, all I can think about is the what ifs. And it just tears me down. And what was discussed in the Econ Talk podcast is these are all normal human reactions, a human way to think. But what we don't want you to do as humans, and listen carefully, is to attempt to fathom things that inherently aren't fathomable. I'm going to say that again. We as humans should not attempt to fathom things that are inherently unfathomable, but you guys get the point. And what I mean by that is, going back to the job A, job B example, all I can think about in my head is job A. But in reality, I'm working job B. I have no idea how job A is actually going to be if I went back in time 6 months of where I am now with job B and said, hey, if I pick job A 6 months ahead, I would be in this position and it will be much better than where I am with job B. That is the biggest mistake mentally you can make as a human trying to battle depression. In our head, we love to fantasize. We love to think, oh, if I had done this, oh, if I had done that. Like, let's say, like, think about a time you went out with friends and maybe it was lame, but, you know, one of you guys said, hey, you know, if we just stayed at home and didn't go out, we would have been chilling. We would have been kicking it back, drinking beers, playing games. But now we went out and we had to wait in a line for a club that was 3 hours long. We didn't even get in, whatever, yada, yada, yada. Every time we talk like that, talking about a situation that could have happened, take a step back and think about how you're framing it. Almost all of the time, we're going to frame that situation that never happened. We're going to frame it relatively better than the situation that we're in right now. Almost all the time. No one's going to sit in a line for a club for 3 hours long and say, you know what? This is better than being cozy in a bed, drinking beers with friends and playing games. No one is going to say that. Objectively, staying home would have been better. In hindsight, knowing that right now, you would have to wait 3 hours in a line for a club, to get into a club. And going back to my previous example of job A, job B, I did the same thing, right? Job A that I never had because I took job B, I'm framing in my head to be relatively better than where I am right now without even taking up job A. No idea. I have no idea what job A is going to be. For all I know, you know, I can sit here with job B and say, I'm depressed, I'm working late, blah, 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 whatever it is. But at least I didn't take job A because, you know, in job A, I would have been in the city. I would have been lost, you know, with public transportation. I would have had to waste an hour or two every single day to commute. You know what? Even though I'm depressed in job B, I feel really good because I don't have job A. No one has ever said that, right? No one has ever said that. And this is not even with jobs, right? Another example. For my younger crowd, from the younger generation, let's say you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a significant other, a partner, if you will. You know, let's say you're with them and, you know, for all the toxic reasons or whatever, you break up with them and now you fall into this deep depression, right? Because it's, you know, you don't have that person anymore. And sometimes you think about, damn, I could have worked things out, or, you know, things would have been better if we were still together, whatever it is. And we're going through the same cycle, right? We're trying to fathom a situation that isn't happening. Like, the deed is done. I broke up with you. Now I'm depressed. But, you know, who's to say if we stayed together, it would have been all rainbows and sunshines. Maybe it would have been even worse. Maybe we would have, you know, done something bad to each other or whatever it is. We don't know. I'm not saying the grass is greener on the other side or it's not greener. All I'm saying is we don't know. Okay. That was a long-winded example, but I hope you guys get the idea. But at the end of the day, what I'm really trying to say is depression as sometimes, or as my title refers to, 50% of the time, is, and bear with me, take this with a grain of salt, self-inflicted. I'm gonna get a lot of heat for that. But what I mean by self-inflicted is because I'm depressed about a situation that I'm just making up in my head. Even if the chances are so astronomically in your favor for that other thing to be better, let's say job A was like twice the salary. Job A had an apartment fully paid for by the company. All this good stuff where it's like there's no possible way that job A would have been worse than job B. Even if that's so, who's to say? Not me, because I didn't take up job A. And here I am depressed because maybe it would have been better. Maybe it would have been better. The situation that I'm making up in my head is better. And that's what's making me depressed. Sometimes we have to train our minds. I think that's the best way to put it. Another thing that I'm depressed about from time to time is money, right? Do I have enough money? Am I doing enough with my money? If I had just done X, Y, and Z major in college, I would be making twice more or whatever it is, right? And I make a good wage right now. I'm in an apartment. I have a wife and I can pay for a lot of the stuff and interests that we have. But there have been times where I tell myself, oh, look at this guy making so much more money because he did this, or this guy over here dropped out of college, isn't a corporate slave, and now makes millions of dollars doing whatever he's doing. What I do, and I guess this is the second thing, is remember where you came from. Because where I'm at now, 5 years ago, and this is something that I can fathom, 5 years ago, this is all I ever wanted, right? An apartment, a wife, enough money to never worry about it, right? I didn't have an exact number in my head, but I told myself I at least wanted to make enough to not worry about money because I didn't grow up wealthy or anything like that. And here I am now. And when I think about what I wanted before and what I have right now, who am I to be depressed about it? Who am I to want more? Of course, wanting more is built in us, and you should always want more, never be complacent, always grind for the next big thing. But who am I to be depressed about where I am now when 5 years ago, this is all I could have ever dreamed of? And I know it's very hard to trick your brain into thinking you're in a good spot, but this is all very real, right? There was a time when I was depressed in college, and growing up with immigrant parents, college was the only thing that I ever wanted to do, right? Because that was the pinnacle of immigrant success. If you get college educated in America, right, with immigrant parents. And there was a time where I wanted to drop out. I'm like, this is not for me. Like, I hate it here. I'm just not good enough. But I press rewind on my life almost as far back as when my parents first immigrated here. And I tell myself, there was a point in time where I am right now is all I could have ever wanted, all I could have ever dreamed of in my life. I'm going to conclude because I'm looking at the time and I've been rambling for 15 minutes, but to conclude, 1, do not attempt to fathom something that's inherently unfathomable. And 2, remember where you came from, because where you are right now, the things that you have right now, it could be 5, 6, 7 years ago. That's all you could have ever wanted. Let's go back to the list of things you were possibly. Oh, voice crack. Oh, I didn't have a voice crack. And now I got a voice crack at the end, but it's fine. Go back to the list of the things that you were depressed about. To help guide you, I'll repeat what I said. My job, right? Finances, relationships, whatever it may be. With my job, I have coworkers that are like, dude, I need to leave. And I tell them, like, sometimes I want to leave too, but at the end of the day, only a few years, this is to kind of get personal with you guys, but I had a job where, before this job that I have now, that I strongly disliked, and it had nothing to do with the managers or anything. It was just the work, the hours. I was depressed. And I have a running joke with my managers now. Every time they think it gets bad for me, I said, look, you can give me all the work you have. I was in a dark place before this, and nothing you do, no amount of work that you give me will bring me more suffering and depression than what I had in my previous job. Just, a dark running joke, of course. Finances. I have money, right? And even when I think I don't have money, I have money because there's food on the table. That's how I know that there's money. I live in my own place. That's how I know I have money. And I'm not settling, of course. Should grind to have a bigger place, or whatever the hell the American dream is. But I have what I've always wanted. And that's good enough for me. So I hope this helps. I hope that either you instantly cured your depression, or this just is something that you find useless now. But as you go about your day, or your weeks, or your months, or whatever it is, your years, that you come back and think about this. Am I trying to fathom something that I don't really know is going to ever happen? What did I want 5 years ago from today? Am I here now? Do I have it? Just think about it. And yeah, I hope this helps. Have a good day.